All right. Hi, everyone. Just so you guys know, this mastermind at 9:30, just in case you're joining from other states, is specifically for New Jersey only. So if you're from Florida or Arizona, just so you know, this will not really apply to you. You should go and speak to your managers. So feel free to come back for the training with Tyler, which starts at 11 a.m. today. All right. So as you
Donna,
guys
is it at 11 or 10?
It's at 11. I addressed it. You guys should have received a
Ah,
message just
okay.
because the time zone has changed for since the time change. Arizona time is at 8 and then New Jersey is at 11. And I'm very excited because it will be a 6-week Abe, just so you know, this is just for New Jersey at 9:30. If you want to join the training with Tyler, it's at 11. Um, so anyway, so with Tyler, he's starting a 6-week training with KV Core. When he did the previous trainings a few weeks ago, he received a lot of feedback from you guys, especially what you're looking for, what you need help with. So he has come up with a new agenda. So we're very excited, and that's starting now. It will be 6 weeks. They'll always be recorded, and they will be on our hub. So if you can't make one of the trainings, you can go and watch them at a later time. All right, so now we'll get to the good stuff. And again, this is for New Jersey. Obviously, if you're from Florida or Arizona, just so you know, please speak to your manager. You're more than welcome to listen in. Anyway, so you guys seen the new policy with NAR that came out, and I think the reason why they decided to go that route and what it means is that how many times have you guys seen a property get listed and then immediately it's already an attorney review and you never had the opportunity to show it to your clients, and then you hear your client complaining to you saying, wait a second, how come I didn't even get to see this house and it's already, they already accepted an offer? That's because let's say you have a listing that's not ready to be listed and you have an exclusive because you want to make sure you're not wasting your time with the owner, and then you end up not getting the listing, is you don't give an opportunity for other brokerages to notify their buyers that there's a new listing coming up on the market. So that's pretty much what this means, is that they want to implement that everybody has an opportunity to see a listing that's coming soon. Now it's going to depend, and every MLS is different. For example, GSMLS already has that plan where you can have a coming soon for 10 days, right? They allow you to do that. Every MLS will have that opportunity to see what they feel like should be sufficient for you to list a property coming soon. So pretty much you post it, you say, hey, such and such day, this will come up in the market. So that way buyers can be notified. Please remember that when you are doing that, coming soon, exclusives, you still need the seller disclosure. Please, if you looked at all the emails, every email says that you need it, whether it's going on the market right away or it's being delayed. You need to make sure that you have the seller disclosure. And they do obviously the date started March 25th, and everybody must have implemented it by September 30th. So the MLSs will have time to meet with their board of directors to come up with this change. And when that happens, I will send out emails to all of you, and your managers will also notify you guys. But as of right now, I haven't seen any MLSs make any changes to that. So stay tuned. We'll have to just wait. Anyone has any questions?
I do. I'm not understanding what the new rule is exactly.
So the new rule is saying so just like GSMLS, right? You're a member of GSMLS, you have a coming soon. So that way you can list a property 10 days before it goes on the market. So the days, it's not really going through IDX, right? So that way it doesn't start counting the days that's on the market. So let's say, Michelle, you have a new listing, but it's really not ready to go on the market because the seller is still painting, putting new floors or a kitchen, but they pretty much just don't want you to keep it as an exclusive. They want you to give opportunities to other brokerages to see that there's a new property coming on the market.
Okay, so when I fill out that form and my seller says, yeah, let's do it this way, that means it doesn't go on the public engines like Zillow, Realtor.com, but everyone else that is a agent can see it.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And as of right now, just so you know, the MLSs have not implemented anything like that. So right now you have to do exactly what we have been doing until they notify saying, hey, you can have this type of listing for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 12 days, whatever amount. So every MLS is going to be different. Any other questions? I think this is a fair game because I'm sure you guys are upset seeing those listings that you don't have an opportunity, like especially when you have an exclusive agency agreement. I hear from you guys all the time. Adona, my client is saying to me, how come you don't have any exclusives? How come my friend's agent has all these exclusive and it's not fair to you when you put the hard work and you never had the opportunity to see that there's new properties coming on the market. So I think, yes, in a way, it's really helping us as agents to be able to help our clients. We can say, hey, look, there's a new property that matches what you're looking for. It's going to be available in 5 days, 7 days. So that way you have the opportunity to see the property. But we'll see. I feel like the change is probably going to start coming around May, June. I don't see anyone like jumping on it right now, but that's coming up very soon.
Good morning. I'm sorry. I came in a few minutes late. Can you just repeat that really fast?
So there's a new policy being changed. NAR is implementing a policy where, let's say you have a listing, they're going to allow the MLS for you to be able to list it exclusive without through an IDX. So that way other brokerages can see that you have a new listing coming soon.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect.
That's
Thank you.
pretty much what it is. And it hasn't been implemented by other MLSs yet, but when it does, I will let you know.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
You're
Are we
welcome.
getting more information?
Right, so I mentioned it earlier, as soon as the MLS will notify us, we will send out emails. Each office, your office manager, when they do a meeting, they will make sure that they share any new updates from the MLS.
Okay, perfect.
Please
Thank you.
make sure you join those office meetings because that's the time where they will share this information, but I'll also make sure we send out an email company-wide with the new changes once I have everything.
Okay.
All right, so if you guys joined a little late, just remember Tyler's training is at 11. We are starting 1 hour later just because of the time change to, for Arizona, we wanted to be fair to them because it'll be 8 a.m. their time and it's more advanced. So please utilize it. Bold Trail has new design starting Q2, which obviously started today. Creating CMAs. It's very important that you guys stay up to date with the marketing. Also, I want to let you know that I do have an agent who, well, you all know him, Glenn Baker. He's going to start an AI webinar as well for us starting hopefully next week, which I will keep you guys informed. So a lot of you have asked me how to utilize AI. So that would be a great session for you as well. So we have some great things coming for you, and they will all be recorded and they will always be on our hub. All right, so we have a little time. If you guys have any questions on any topics that you would like to ask, feel free. This is your time. Also, just make sure the seller disclosures, you guys are using the updated one. Make sure it has the flood risk, and you also have the responsibility to make sure that when you represent the buyer, you make sure that you get that seller disclosure from the listing side. And make sure when you send it to your client, please review it. Don't just have them sign it. A lot of times I've noticed a few pages are either blank, not filled out, not signed. So you have to make sure you also have that responsibility. The Real Estate Commission has hired multiple investigators. They are all out. And when you're hosting open houses, whether it's for a colleague or your own listing, make sure you have the open house disclosure. Very, very important. The best way to do it is tape it on the door outside and maybe have it by the sign-in sheet. All of our listing loops has the open house and the open house sign-in sheet. So if you don't have your own, please use the one we already have for you. Just so you know, you have other brokers that are visiting your open house. And of course, if they see something you're missing, they can report you for that. So you never know who's looking, who's watching. And just be careful also when you're discussing commission. Just remember, every seller nowadays have cameras. They'll be recording you. So if you're having conversations with your buyers, please make sure you take those outside, far away from the property. For rentals, if you're helping, I just want to let you know, I'm gonna put a renewal letter on .loop, because if you helped a client, let's say this year, to create a lease, right? You helped them find a tenant, you created the lease. Next year they come back to you and they ask you, oh, hey, I want to do a renewal. If you write the lease for them, you need all the documents. You can't just have a lease with no lead paint or no CO, etc. So to help you guys, to help your clients, there will be a letter I borrowed from another broker who just pretty much says that all the terms and conditions from the previous lease are in effect, except the rent has changed to whatever amount. So that way you're out of it. You have nothing to do with it. If you're creating a lease, you have to collect a fee. You should not do it for free. And obviously, as you guys notice, every other month there's a new change. I just want to make sure you guys are all protected, because at the end of the day, when a real estate commission comes, you want to make sure that you're covered, you have everything in your file. And they can go back as 6 years. So if you did something 6 years ago, I'm sure you don't even remember I don't remember what I did last month, let alone like 6 years ago. So you want to make sure you, any email that you have, communication, text, it's always a good idea to add it to your loop.
What if you did a lease, but just as a courtesy, and you put nothing about you being involved in it? No realtors are involved, because I do that as a courtesy to some good clients.
I did too in the past. And there was a case, and I think I've shared it with you guys before. The real estate commission had randomly audited an agent who did that as a courtesy. It was a renewal lease. And unfortunately, when, this was like 2 years ago, right? He did a renewal lease. And when the tenant moved out, the landlord kept the security deposit for apparently damage. And of course, the tenant sued the landlord, and the landlord wasn't really complying. So the attorney filed a complaint with the real estate commission, and it came back to us. And now the real estate commission doesn't care that you did a favor for your client. You didn't have the proper documentation because you used a real estate form. This is why we're a member. This is why we have fees. So I would suggest you, instead of writing a lease, the form will be posted hopefully by tomorrow on .loop that you guys can share with your clients for renewals. Because if you just do a renewal lease, you're gonna need the lead paint. It's pretty much, the lease is not a renewal, it's an actual lease.
So Idona, if we use that rental renewal form that you're gonna upload, that's all we need. We don't have to redo all
Just
the.
give it to your clients and they handle it. You're out of it because you're not getting paid for it, right? You can say, hey, look, here's the form for the renewal. It's one piece of document that just helps the landlord saying, hey, I renewed it. And the tenant as well. It says you're in a 1-year contract or whatever, 6-month renewal, 1-year renewal, whatever they decide.
Got it.
If you're joining now, just so you guys know, I'm so used to having the trainings at 10, but the time has changed. So now the training is at 11. We did send out a text message at 9 a.m. this morning. So if you're joining now for the training, it's going to be at 11 with Tyler. Any other questions, guys, with new changes? How are you guys, how's the market? Any troubles with getting your offers accepted? Any questions on commission structure? Anything like that, feel free to ask me.
I think we just all need to know the forms. There's new forms that just came out in Florida. So I'm not sure if
So that
everybody's,
would be Elizabeth. Elizabeth would be the one to help you guys with Florida forms. And for New Jersey, I'm the one who's gonna help New Jersey. So feel free to ask Elizabeth because every day there's a new form that's coming out, and I'm not gonna. Obviously, New Jersey realtors, every time they come up with their own form, it doesn't mean that we're gonna implement it because we already have forms from the MLS, and I just don't want to use extra forms that is not necessary. But eventually, just so you guys are aware and be ready for it, there will be more changes coming, especially with how the commission is structured. I'm gonna stop recording now just because if I talk about commission, then I can't post it on the hub. So that way I can just tell you guys a little bit about it.
is this, Donna, is this